Hi guys, it's Katy here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're gonna be doing a grow tent tour. I've done one in the past and that was a very long time ago. A lot has changed in terms of which plants I'm keeping, the whole setup, the equipment. I have learned a lot during this time and it was kinda a requested video and I've been postponing it for quite a while, so here it is, buckle in and enjoy! So this is my grow tent, it's by Pirate Bay. I've had it for I think about a year now. These are the main doors and let's just go into it. Oh, welcome to heaven. Kidding, but like it's an oasis. So first, to give you a rough overview of how everything is, I've used the space as much as possible because we're optimizing our growing conditions because space is a luxury. Me and my boyfriend made those shelves. These are DIY'd. They go from one end to the other end and they have racks just so some light can still pass through them. We did coat them with protective layer like 3 times, but I still did get some fungus on it. I treated it and hopefully it's gonna be gone by then. I have plants on the floor, I have plants on the racks, and then I have another big shelving unit on my left side which usually holds propagations. There are plants to sell, Anthurium seedlings, Anthuriums, random shit, and queens, and some propagations. Very useful, fits in the space perfectly. And then for the vertical space, I have one of these shower racks mounted on the top here. I'm planning to get at least another one or two, one for there and maybe one for this, because it is empty and it would hold a lot more plants. I am running, here are Arcadia 22 watts lights, super good, also super bright, so I do have them shaded so my plants don't get burned. Then I have some cheap lights here, and another one here, and I also have 2 heating mats. One is for my propagations and another one is here, which is not being used efficiently, but oh well. So let's start on the right side of my grow tent. So firstly is this big Anthurium crystallinum. It's huge, I mean, it's really big. It has currently 4 leaves. This is the oldest. It's just working on a new leaf, which is gonna be a beast by itself. Like, you can see how thick it is already. It's really happy, growing a lot of roots. One of my pride and joys because I basically grew this plant from nothing. In the corner we have a melanochrysum that I'm kinda trailing, or like it's climbing on the stick here. I don't want to cut it because I have too many melanochrysum cuttings. They just never end for me. It's like weeds, so I'm kind of giving them away for free at this point. Another vertical space usage. This is also a rack for your bathroom, and in here this is Anthurium no ID. It's absolutely stunning. I'm gonna show you how the mature plant looks. And in the back here is a philodendron holtenianum, I believe. It was gifted to me as a 1-leaf cutting. Just unfurling its 2nd leaf, and this is the latest leaf in my care. It's like a pendant philodendron. Anyways, it's amazing and I love it. Underrated in my opinion. If we continue going up here, here is a Hoya carnosa tricolor, I believe, my only Hoya that I have. Not a Hoya person, I basically killed this and now it's back. As you can see, it has a lot of roots. It basically lives off the humidity that's in here, like I barely water it. That's probably the reason she's still alive. This is a philodendron, I don't know, I'm gonna put a tag. Basically, I've kind of just repotted it. It has amazing roots, as you can see. And yes, we're using plastic pots as nursery pots because we're cheap sometimes. Currently has 2 new leaves. It wasn't growing well in the water, so I've kind of just repotted it. And then we have a horde of my carnivorous plant. This is Nepenthes I don't know what it is. So basically I have this one. All of this I think are the same. And this guy is so cute, like I'm finally growing it well. I don't use distilled water and they're super happy. I'm still surprised how they are living. This is a really pretty one. And back here we have our Sharon. This is Philodendron Byronii. It's a one leaf cutting. It's pushing out new growth, I think. Yeah, there it is, there's a new growth. And next to it, we have two Cercestis mirabilis. Those are one of the slowest plant, I freaking swear. They had another leaf, but then my bunny once got into grow tent and snagged them off. Yeah, they're trying, but they're so slow. This concludes the area up here, and if we move downwards, then we have one of my queens. This is a queenie. I grew this one from a stump. You've seen her on my channel as well. She just got a fresh repot and I've actually cut the bottom of her and I'm trying to propagate her one more time. Here is a caterpillar and it is getting thicker, so I'm hoping for a new leaf soon. And then we have a randomly placed Anthurium. I cannot remember for the life of me. Anyways, this is a cutting. It has no roots, but we're working on it. Seems to be doing okay. It's not floppy or anything. Another Pride and Joy. This is my Anthurium papillilaminum hybrid. I love this plant. I've had it for a year now and it's grown super well. Let me show you one of the biggest leaves. Okay, yeah. So it did have a root rod at one point, so this is why this leaf is smaller, but let me show you the roots real fast. Yeah, so don't worry if your plant gets root rot, they usually bounce back really fast. I have a lot of plans for this guy. When it flowers, I'm hoping to either self it or cross it with luxuriance. I think that would look really nice. Since it is quite big, I do hope it's gonna produce an inflow soon. Fingers crossed. In the very far corner we have what I believe a climbing mamey. This plant was a gift last year and it has finally started gaining like proper size. It's a little bit bleached. I've moved it to a shadier location. It enjoys climbing. It has a lot of aerial roots, as you can see. Then we have the main shelf, which calls for Forgetii, as you can see. I have a thing for forgetty eyes, and that's not all, mind you. So, this is the latest leaf that a forgetty eye has grown. This is forgetty eye silver stripe, and this plant is amazing. It's so bubbly and velvety and amazing. I do hope this guy is producing inflorescence because I'd want to cross this guy with a magnificum. That'd be amazing. This is the older leaf for comparison, so they did size up quite nicely. And next to it, we actually have a forgetty eye hybrid. So this was bought as Anthurium papillilaminum from Indonesia, but as you can tell, it has nothing to do with poppy. It's interesting because at one point it was switching from semi-closed sinus to closed, and now it has just gone to fully closed. I love it. I have no idea what cross is it. I'm guessing Forgetii and Uraquenum. However, some people have also suggested that it could be the silver Forgetii. No, the Forgetii crossed with Crystallinum. I don't know, it just has such narrow leaves, like compared to... This is semi-narrow Forgetii, mind you. As I mentioned, another Forgetii. This is a Forgetii silver stripe. I ordered this one on Equagenera, and it's probably one of the darkest Anthuriums that I own. No joke, this leaf right here is even darker. My Forgetii have kind of been in sync, and they all pushed out this, and that leaf. And then we have Anthurium Forgetii green form. So as you can tell, there is a lot of difference in terms of venation. This one has a lot of subtle venation, whereas this one is silvery and that one is even more silvery. So this one is also very dark and it has been growing super well. I got this one last year as a one tiny leaf cutting. I think it had a leaf even smaller than this, and now we're at this point and I think it's already working on a new one. In the back we have, this plant was sold to me as Anthurium magnificum from Indonesia, but It is not. It is one of my bushiest Anthuriums. I believe it currently has like 5 leaves. And it's just so happy, continues growing no matter what. I was like hesitant, am I gonna keep it or not? But I'm glad I did. I did recently repot it just because I wanted to put out bigger size leaves, because they're kinda same size, like not that much of an increase, so maybe it was very root bound, so that could be the reason. In the back we have Verrucosum. This is Philodendron Verrucosum green form, so what it means is it has fuzzy petioles and they are green, as one would guess. It's very leggy. In particular, like look how long internodes does it has. So I do hope it grows bigger leaves at one point, because then I will kind of just prop it and restart the plant. The next plant is Anthurium magnificum. This is Magnificum from Aquagenera, and I got really lucky with this specimen. It's very dark, I'm not sure it's gonna show up on the camera, but it's a very nice specimen in terms of Magnificum. It does have quadrupled petioles and ruffles on them as well, so it is a Magnificum. If you know me, I'm picky with my Magnificums, so I have high standards. I'm gonna show you my bigger one later, which will blow you away, trust me, it will. Been kind of temperamental. The previous leaf got some sort of fungal spots, so I had to cut it, and this is the leaf it has just pushed out. In the back we have a cluster of variegated burley marks. This plant is huge. I've just repotted it the other day and finally gave it some pole for support. A beautiful variegation. This is the situation we're dealing with. I don't know what to tell you. It's beautiful, but it also takes up a lot of space, but I like it. So in the corner, I tend to have climbing plants, as you may have guessed. There is Philodendron glorious that I'm actually trying really hard to grow nicely. This is the newest leaf. Very velvety. There is also another one, and it's kind of reaching the end of the pole, so I'll have to extend it really soon, because this plant is growing really fast. Once it starts growing, it's kind of like a Melanochrysum. So, I mean, it is a cross between Melanochrysum and glorious. Next to it is a very bushy Philodendron Verrucosum. Oh boy, oh boy. It's a little bit of a mess. I have no idea why is it yellowing. I think the light was too bright for it. Gonna have to cut it. There are 2 plants in there, and it's kinda Leaning Tower of Pisa. It is what it is. Unfurling new leaves. You can see one there, one there. And then is my pride and joy. This is Syngonium podophyllum albo variegatum. So this plant is amazing in terms of variegation. Oh, just unfurled a new leaf. Nice. It has finally started like growing a bit more leggy, because before it was just so concentrated. It has a lot more leaves here. I've never cut this plant just because I like it, how it grows. Really beautiful and carefree plant. Who would recommend? Hanging here is an orchid. This is Paphiopedilum maudiae, hopefully I'm pronouncing this right. They have very beautiful blooms, and the funny thing is, once it blooms, the mother plant will produce a pup, and then once this pup is mature enough, it will produce another bloom. So this is currently the new pup that's growing, so the new bloom will come from here. I don't know when. I am not a professional in terms of orchids, so we'll see. And then I suppose we're gonna move to this shelving rack. These are my pride and joys. These are my 2 queens. So this is my bigger queen. She's been with me for quite some time. She is currently working on a new leaf, so I'm very excited, and I'm hoping that it's gonna be bigger. Hint hint. And this is the latest queen that I got from Aquagenera. One thing with this queen, when I received her, she had 1 leaf which was just unfurling, and then it kinda was too deformed, and I decided to cut it, and then she was pushing out another leaf, and during this time she fell and I broke it. And when she was pushing this leaf, yes, you can guess that she fell and I broke it. So keeping her for the sake of growing a nice leaf, and also because this leaf is huge. Just a close-up because they truly do deserve it. Super pretty. These are all dark forms, I believe, but yeah, very big. In the back, he's like, hi guys, I'm here too, I exist as well. And there's a VGI. I'm gonna pull it out later, okay? And here is the VGI that I've promised you. It's such a nice plant. It actually has 4 leaves. I do believe this one is narrow form. This is the latest leaf. And the leaves are so shiny, like so nice. Underrated. Pushing out a new leaf. The edit recently kind of just changed the soil. It used to have bigger leaves and I'm trying to grow bigger leaves for this guy. They are a bit iffy in my experience. Look at the sheen, look at it. Amazing. And then we have my propagations, some of them in the bag there is. This is Monstera esqueleto, previously known as Epiprimenoides. These things are so slow, but when she does push out a new leaf, it is kind of big. You can look at my hand. Yes, please focus. So this was the first leaf and this leaf was the second. I was like, who are you? Are you an esqueleto or not? But then she pushed out that one. I was like, yeah, okay. So she got like a mini fern moss ball because I don't make moss balls. Next to it is a Syngonium pink spot. I believe it's called a pink spot. Been in water for too long, finally potted it up. Hopefully it's gonna grow fine. Like I don't have Syngoniums except my elbow. Oh, you can see the size of the leaves here. Okay. Here are some boring propagations that I won't go in it. On the bottom shelf we have this cutie pie, Philodendron bilietii. I think this is how it's correctly pronounced. It has activated several shots, so it's growing quite clustered. Still a very small plant, even though I have it for a long time, so I'm hoping for a size up eventually. Then we have, I think it's Peninsula. Carnivorous plant. Another one. I need to repot this one into a fresh pot. It's growing happily, considering the fact that it's kind of neglected. Then this is a Monstera pinopertita. Also recently repotted. She also has that fern moss ball. I love the leaves on this plant and I've decided to keep it just for sake of growing it, so this is what we're doing. In the back we have a very sad Atabapoense, and I think this is a Modeanum, Anthurium Modeanum, but it has some stem rot, so I think it's gonna go. I'm just like, I'm not throwing it away, but it's staying there, so yeah, it is what it is. Welcome, a very beautiful Anthurium. This was sold as Forgetii crossed with Crystallinum. It's super dark and it has amazing blue sheen on it. It's growing very leggy, but I think it's finally starting to pick up the size because when I propagated this plant, it's so slow growing. And then we have two sisters in the bag. This is Anthurium Woodburyanum crossed with Warraquianum, or the other way around. I have no idea. So these are grown from stump. It was actually one chunk that ended up turning into growth points, so I have two. I will be keeping both of them just because I want to grow them out and they finally started gaining the size, so also that's one of the key thingies. And here is the smaller one, also super pretty. I'm gonna show a picture of mama plant. It's stunning. I just, you know, I want to grow it to that. That'd be amazing achievement. On the bottom we have Anthurium forgetii silver stripe, but this is silver stripe. Let's compare the two. The three. I mean, it doesn't compare. I've always wanted a berry silver forgetii. This was actually my friend's and he wasn't really happy at his place. This is the leaf it grew in his care and this is the leaf it grew in my care. It is so well rooted at the moment. Yeah, you can see those happy roots. I'm hoping for a new leaf soon. It's also very bubbly. Like, would you look at that? Amazing texture, love it. In the back is one of my seedlings, so I basically grew this from one leaf seedling. To the guys who are asking how long does it take to grow it from a seedling, I don't know what you mean. This is a year's old seedling. It's very happy. They got their repot recently into bigger pots. So this is what a 1-year-old seedling looks like. Then we have more seedlings. So from the same batch are this guy here. It had one more leaf, but it got some spots, so I had to cut it. And as you can see, it is pushing out a new leaf. Hello, hello. From the same batch, have I kept any more? Yes, I have one more, but it's not here. And then we have Crystallinum babies, which are those guys here. amazing blue hue leaves, and this is my favorite just because it's dark and the silver is just popping. It's working on a leaf as well. It's kind of giving me those Carla vibes. This is the same one, and look, it has a streak of variegation. Can we hope that it continues? It's pushing out a new leaf there. Another one from the same batch. This one is very round and it's cute. Those three guys are Anthurium magnificum hybrid seedlings. Those are from Rose. I wasn't taking the best care of them, so they are kind of small for how old they are. Now that I've repotted them, they're growing new leaves. Look, so cute. And the last one, this is allegedly Anthurium crystallinum super silver. It does have a lot of silver venation and kind of more heart-shaped leaves. Super slow. This is actually a propagations. It has a little bit of edema, but it's getting better. When you have a propagation and it's small, it takes forever to grow, so take that into account. On the bottom shelf, this is my sales department, aka the never-ending hoard of monochrysum. There is a baby gloriosum, one of the seedlings, and yeah, it's just monochrysum. Philodendron soderoy cutting that no one wants to buy here locally. I don't know why. And then I have two glorious cuttings. On the bottom I have two racks of plants. So the first we have more Anthurium seedlings. Those are Anthurium magnificum hybrid. I've just repotted them because they were kind of slow in growth. In here, but this is a mix of tree fern, perlite, and whatnot. There are two forgetty eye seedlings, or seeds. Well, they have started germinating. Can you see little? Yeah, they're showing their first leaves. How nice. I got those as a gift. This is a propagation of variegated monstera. This is the base, and this is what a new shoot grew from. She had one more leaf, which was fully white, but it died back, and now she's pushing another one. Seems to be white. We're gonna see. This is Scandapsus pictus, silver lady, pushing out a new leaf. Amazing Scandapsuses. Underrated in my opinion. Then we have one soderoy, and there is another one here, both from the same plant. I have a lot of cuttings. So this is Philodendron splendid, the top cut that I had from my mother plant. This is Philodendron glorious, top cut. Another soderoy, glorious, another glorious, and then we have another glorious. I've moved from Melanofarm to Splendid, and there's a whole rack of just Splendids. This one I'm keeping, but you can see there's a lot of cuttings in there. Back to here, this is Philodendron Paraiso Verde. It's green, but apparently they can get variegation back. It's working on a new shoot. It's been working on it for a long time. But I did also just kind of transfer it, so I think it's still adjusting. In the back, it's an interesting plant, not very common in cultivation. This is supposed to be, I think it's a Philodendron Verneri, no idea how to pronounce it. It's a shingling Philodendron. Interesting, it's a pole or a plank or something. Here on the bottom, it's a very sad crystallinum that I have found out has stem rot. Kind of been postponing to deal with it because I hate stem rot on Anthuriums. The overview of my bottom area, which I have recently reshuffled, and I love it. So as I mentioned, here is only Splendids. Some are pushing out a new growth, some already have new growth. Yeah, you can see new leaves there. In the back we have a Philodendron gloriosum. This plant was stuck in the corner up in the upper shelf, and I don't know, it just grows super well. It doesn't like light. You can see they kind of bleach very easily. But it got super bushy and it's just so happy. Next to it is Mama Frydog. Not Frydog, it's a location. It's Tizana Makowski. Finally, she is back. I mean, she died back in the winter. This is the fresh leaf she's unfurled. They do like a lot of light in my experience. Another splendid. This is the mother plant This is Anthurium waterberryana. I had one last year and they're just so iffy. I don't think anyone gets them, like from what I've spoken with people, they are just so prone to this shit and yellowing and whatnot. I got this one for free, otherwise it's going into the compost because I don't have it in me to deal with this bitchy energy. Okay, one of the very beautiful philodendron white princess. I got this one from a very small leaf and she has the best variegation. She does have one half moon here. She's actually in the water because she had root rot at one point and I've kept her in waters. I didn't want to like fully propagate her, so now I was thinking of maybe cutting like half of it and then potting up the top and like cutting the bottom. We're gonna see. Next to the Malfry deck is Alocasia Maharani. This is such a beautiful plant, it does hold a lot of water. Whoops. Fun thing. So initially I had this one in pon and she was growing all the time, but the leaves were just small. So this is the last leaf she grew in pon and this is the first leaf she grew when I transferred her into aerate mix. My hand for the reference, so when I see the roots. Yeah, do I need to say anything more? No. She's also working on a new leaf there, so it's not an inflorescence because she had an inflow, so that's nice. Next one is, well, it started with this. So this is my Florida Beauty, but she reverted. She is really cute though. I got her for 17 euros, so I am not complaining. If I paid 200 euros, I'd be mad. Moving forward, another Gloriosum. So this is actually a bottom from Gloriosum that I got, I think it's like already 2 years back. Produced 3 offshoots, I've kept the 2 and the one is here for sale that I showed you previously. It's super pretty. This one gets also very pink if the conditions are right. Then in the back it's Philodendron Compost Portoenum. It just got a repot and it has a bigger stake so it can climb. I don't do moss balls, I've mentioned, unless I've done them like a long time ago. And in the corner is my Philodendron Florida Ghost. This leaf was actually white after some time and this one is kind of minty. I don't mind it because I like it as it is. They are kind of a corner plant just because how they grow. Yes, this is the moss ball that I've reused, not specifically made. The last 2 plants that I have on this section here is this beautiful Anthurium Regal. This one in particular tends to have very narrow leaves, which I absolutely adore, and the venation on this one and lobes and everything is just chef's kiss. It is currently working on a new leaf. You can see there's a caterpillar and it is getting thicker and it did also get a repot. They are very slow, can be fussy, but absolutely worth it, especially if you get the one with good genetics. And the last plant is this Anthurium magnificum. This has to be one of my all-time favorite plants. I just adore it so much. This is the latest leaf. It's huge. It is, drum roll, pushing out another inflow, so this is very exciting. I will be selfing this one. This guy has already bloomed once for me and I've kept the pollen and I think it's just such a good looking mat. We need more of this, okay? So this is the plan for this one, and at one point I want to cross this guy with this crystallinum because it is super dark. Showing this plant in better light because it deserves it. I mean, look at this leaf, it is perfect. It is so silvery and amazing and juicy. Just also, can you appreciate how much did the leaf size also increase from the previous leaf? Like, it's really happy. Also has a lot of freaking roots. I mean, a lot. This all grew in my care, so it's not like I got it so well rooted. So this was it for this tour video, I suppose. Hopefully it's not too long. I have no idea how long I rented because I've kind of sectioned it into more sections because I wasn't sure if my phone has enough storage on it. There's that. Hopefully if you enjoyed. If you did, please give it a like and I will see you next time. Bye!